when I was young, I couldn't buy a bicycle. So I bought some parts, 25 cents for a wheel, $2 for the frame. And I bought it. I went to get it in Malakoff, and parts are here and there. And totally, the bike cost me less than $7.
Wow.
Yeah.
I won't tell you how mine cost.
Right. So, and that was a challenge for me because I didn't have the money to buy one. And I knew because my father, there were 7 children in the family. My father couldn't buy one unless I could save my dimes and nickels that I get sometimes or other, and save that too. And that's what I did to buy the parts. At the time, a bike would cost $30-some, 28 to $30. So it was a lot of money.
Right.
It's like $3,000 now almost.
Welcome to the Driven Dad Podcast, where we celebrate dads that live with passion and lead with purpose. On this show, we'll host some dads that live incredible lives. Being a dad is the most important job you'll ever have. Get inspired by our amazing guest dads that refuse to live life in mediocrity and live epic lifestyles with their families. Today, I'm honored, guys, to sit down with someone very special to me, my grandfather. At 89 years old, he's a proud father of 5, grandfather of 8, and great-grandfather to 6 and counting. Raised in the countryside in a hardworking entrepreneurial family, he's lived a life built on grit, love, and values that stand the test of time. He's seen decades of change, but his commitment to family has never wavered. This is a conversation about legacy, fatherhood, and what really matters. Welcome to the Driven Dad Podcast, Pipil.
Yeah, welcome.
So I got a little question for you before we get in the nitty-gritty of things.
Okay.
So, Pipil, if you could hop in a time machine today and relive one day from your life, just for fun, just for the fun of it,
Yeah.
which day would that be?
Probably my wedding, but certainly my first child as well. That would be very, very important to me.
Those are some pretty remarkable days in your life.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yeah. And what year would that be?
1960 and 63.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which in 63, that would have been my mom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It would be 61 for Charlene.
61. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So, to kind of hop right into it in my first question, what values did your parents and upbringing in the countryside instill in you that you've tried to pass on to your children and to your grandchildren later on in life?
Probably the sense of communicating with each member of the family without too many negative thoughts. We lived together as a family that really belonged to each other, to each one of us. So with 13 children, it had to be that way. We were all busy with the farm. We had a store, and my father was a contractor building houses and small commercial buildings. So everybody had to take part in the work that the family, the farm gave us, and the store and everything. I remember working in the store at age 7 because my mother was the owner of the store, so to say, or she took care of the store, even by raising the family at the same time. And that was it for me.
So the whole family really contributed to every daily task
Exactly.
of whether it was taking care of
Exactly.
the younger kids
Yeah.
or the businesses that
That's
the family
right.
had.
probably one of the period that was really bringing us together was the fact that I had two brothers who were in the World War II from 1941 to 1945, and one of my brothers was hurt with bullets twice, once in the neck and the back, and that really took care of the would you call that, bringing us really close together, because we thought of that all the time. So that's one period.
That you almost lost a brother.
We almost lost a brother. Yeah.
So it created a bond within the whole family.
Exactly. That's one thing that it did for sure. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you guys had a store. It was in your house, right?
The store was in the house, and it was not a large store, but it was a convenience store for all the village, the part of our village, the Skudok. And we had a good time with it. I remember, for instance, that when Skudok had an airport, and Nova Scotia, Debert, Nova Scotia, had an army depot. They had parades, or they transferred soldiers from Debert to the Skudok Airport. And every time that they went by, that was about 10 or 12 trucks full of soldiers, they would stop in front of the store and bought everything that could be eaten in the store. And we had to replenish that by calling the Reed Company in Moncton, the Legier and Melanson, to supply us all the materials that we needed. And that was a job, because they really took out everything. They really bought everything. So I remember one day, one soldier came in with a bottle, about a half a gallon bottle, and bought some molasses, liquid. We had a barrel of molasses, and he bought 1/2 gallon of molasses. So that was something to remember. Yeah, that's right.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool is between us right here,
Yeah.
I have probably like a half a dozen boxes of cigars that were in that store.
Yeah. Do you know how much they were at the time?
For one cigar,
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 10 cents.
They were 10 and 12 cents, depending on the
Wow.
size. Yeah.
Crazy, which would probably translate into like $25, $30
That's
now.
right. Yeah. A package of cigarettes, 25, if I recall, it was 25 cigarettes, was 20 cents.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
It's awesome to have your stories and your experience take us back to that time.
Right.
Like even you talking about World War II, like in my generation, it's just something we see in movies, but
Right.
you've lived through that.
We
right?
lived through that, yeah. I remember seeing 4 plane crashes from
Someone's,
our airport.
someone's calling you from Germany. from
Yeah, that's
World War
right.
II.
I'll have to call you back. Okay, thank you.
It's still ringing.
I'll have to call you back.
So when you think about your family, or when you look at your family now, your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, what makes you feel the most proud of all your children and grandchildren and great grandchildren?
They're doing each and every one of us, of our children, are doing so well, and we are very, very proud. And the fact that some of them have their own business, their own, I should say that, their own business, and good living, very good living. We're proud of that. We don't have to worry about anything about our family. So that's it. Yeah.
And entrepreneurship runs in your family. So your parents were business owners, entrepreneurs.
That's
What about
right.
your grandparents? Were they entrepreneurs too?
No, they were farmers.
Farmers too.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is essentially kind of like a form of entrepreneurship, really.
Exactly. And they had 40 acres. And I remember that when I was on our farm, we would cut approximately 20 acres of hay in the summer to keep our animals going. And we had 2 horses, 3 or 4 cows. Some of them were calves, some hens, pigs, and we even had sheep. So we had to get everything in the summer to keep them going in the winter. And we never. I don't remember my father buying anything other than some of the oats, for instance, for the cows, and the horse, oats, and that was it. Oats.
So you guys were pretty self-sufficient.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was there a lot of trading going on back then? Like you guys would trade certain things from your farm, like for other supplies that you guys needed?
I don't recall trading much. The only thing we traded, I remember, was a little bit of wood to not trade. We gave away some wood for their stove. In return, I don't remember having anything because that family was poor, and we used to supply them with something to eat from the store as well. But trading from family to family, I don't remember having done that in my young life. So.
Do you think the sense of community was more important back then? Like you mentioned that you guys gave.
Very much so. Very much so. If anybody had problems, for instance, I remember that one family had cows, a number of cows that went away from their particular area. We had to go and take them out of the woods that was nearby, bring them back and fix the fence so that they would stay. And we never expected anything from that. So
Helping out neighbors and helping out the community was just part of a way of life.
That exactly was what it was.
Yeah, it's something that I wish would still be, or that there'd be more of these days.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Coming from like a hardworking entrepreneurial family, how did that shape your approach to your work later on in life and to raising your family?
Well, I personally went to college for 6 years, but unfortunately, I failed the last year and I didn't go back. So I started working. I worked for a while. I decided to go to Montreal to work, and I did for 2.5 years, and came back to get a job from Moncton here, in Moncton. So I worked selling insurance. That was the start of my life in Moncton, and eventually, I started working for a young man who had a floor covering store. And I worked for him for approximately 6 years, and I decided to start my own business, which kept me going for about 21 or 22 years. And from there, I had enough of working 12 to 16 hours a day. Even on the weekend, I'd take my carpet samples and flooring samples and go somewhere to show and sell my flooring, the flooring I had. So that I had enough because we had 5 kids, and I figured that it didn't have enough time for the children. So I decided to take an 8-hour job, a day job, which I don't regret at all. And I worked at it for until I was 63 or 4. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And do you think when your kids saw you working hard to provide for them your 16-hour days,
Yeah.
what type of lessons do you think that they got from that?
I believe that, first of all, it was keeping the family together, because I had a truck, a van truck, for to go to places and measure. So I remember that we always traveled, especially during the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, if I had to go on Sunday. I took the kids with us, and we often stopped for a meal. That didn't seem to be a great meal, but if we didn't stop for a meal, we stopped for ice cream or something to keep them together, something that they would be proud to be among themselves, to eat together. So that, I believe, was a factor in keeping us well together.
Right. So you got them involved into
exactly.
your work.
Yeah. But I did the same thing with work around the house. It wasn't a big work, or it wasn't big work. It was just a help, something to help me doing something. And that, I figure, was a positive factor in their uprising. Yeah.
Absolutely. Some good lessons there,
Yes,
for sure.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. What's one of the toughest moments that you've ever faced as a father, and how did you get through it?
I never actually stopped to hold something negative about moments in our life. I always tried to get something positive out of it, so that it would not harm us physically, mentally as well. I probably would name one of the things that was the hardest to accept was the fact that when I saw Mother read the letter from the army that Leonard, my brother Leonard, had been severely wounded. We didn't know whether he was going to survive or not. And the next 3 or 4 weeks were really something that held us together as a family, because each night we'd lay down, we'd sit down in the kitchen and say some prayers every night. So that really helped us during the war and after. And then when the family started getting apart because they moved away, some of us moved away, like Eloise, the oldest, went to Hartford. And when the others started getting married and all that, it separated the large family into units, And that was welcome too, because we knew that they were going to be well together. They had good partners. Each one of them had good partners. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So you've been married to our grandma for how many years now?
64
years.
9 months. No, it was 65 years, 23rd of April.
Okay.
So we're over 65.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a pretty incredible accomplishment.
Yes, indeed. And we had the health to stay together, and that's something else. Again,
Absolutely.
we're so glad for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would be some of your biggest lessons, or like if you were going to give a few tips to some more of a newly married couple or a younger couple, what would be some good takeaways from your life married with grandma?
Probably never uh, accept negative moments. Always discuss anything that could be negative and try to discuss it before it becomes negative, and that it takes part of your attitude. You have to have a good attitude about something, and it's important that you don't let the negative take over your attitude and your mind. So we try to give that positive to our children as much as possible. Yeah,
So you've raised 5 children.
exactly.
That's pretty incredible. Now that I have 2 of my own,
Yeah, right.
it blows my mind.
Right.
It's not something you realize when you're younger.
Yeah.
I have 4 uncles and aunts and my mom, and it's, it seems really cool. But now as a dad, I realize that you had 5 kids of your own.
That's right.
And with the 2 that I have, I know how much of a responsibility and how much hard work that involves. But nonetheless, it's a special thing to be a dad, and there's a lot of, the good stuff outweighs the bad.
Right.
Of your memory, what would have been a really great day as a dad when your kids were younger?
We had so many great days, especially birthdays, and getting something like walking, take a child and teach him how to walk and stuff like that. And then the first day of school or something else. And we always waited in the afternoon to see what kind of an attitude they had to make sure that everything was good for them. And there's so many things that were positive in our life.
Those big moments, though, the first steps, first day at school, first bike ride, stuff like that. It's something that doesn't escape your memory, though. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you think back, what are some things that you've done as a father that you see your children doing now with their own kids? Certain things that you've passed down to them and they're passing down to the way that they raise their kids.
The way that I see the children and the younger ones accept and listen to their parents, so that they don't turn everything into negative things and start crying every time that they are not accepting what their parents are doing, you're telling them to do. It's incredible how the great-grandchildren or the great-grandchildren that we have now have such a good attitude towards their parent, towards life. And they become very, very bright because of that.
What do you think from when your kids were younger, in your fatherhood experience, to our generation now of me being in those shoes now of having my own smaller children? What do you think has changed from your generation to mine as far as parenthood?
If there was, by the way, from just saying something about the last question, the fact that the grandchildren haven't got the face in their computer, or what do you call it? The iPads and all that.
Yeah.
That is extremely important in life.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And I forget what was the main question you asked there.
So what do you think, like, from your time as a father when your kids were younger?
Yeah.
let's say like at the same age as mine,
Yeah.
what do you think has changed as far as parenthood goes?
In our young age, we had to manufacture so many things, or we had to take a walk or do something physical instead of using a machine to do something.
So there's way more creativity. Like
Creativity,
you
yes,
guys had to
indeed.
use more of your creativity to play, like to
Exactly.
create a game or to
Yeah, exactly.
entertain yourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
That's something we try to do with our kids is let them get bored,
Yeah,
not always have something at their fingertips for them to do or
Yes.
something planned
that's right.
every minute of every day.
Yeah,
But when our kids say that they're bored, it's not a concern to me. It's more like go outside and figure
Yeah,
it out. It's an
right.
opportunity
exactly.
for them to exercise their creativity.
Yes, yes. That's admirable because that way they become more intelligent because they gather new stuff all the time. Something that they can work together with their life, And that's noticeable with some of the children today that they can do that. So that's life.
Yeah, it's
for
like
them now.
it's like you said. There's way too much screen time going on
Right.
for
Yeah.
a lot of kids out there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So the kids that do it the old school way, if you
Yeah.
will, and play outside more and
Right.
less on their screen time
Yeah.
will stand out, I think, in the
Yeah.
long run.
Exactly.
Mm.
When we talk something about that, it gives me a good souvenir about my lifetime. When I was young, I couldn't buy a bicycle, so I bought some parts, 25 cents for a wheel, $2 for the frame. And I bought it. I went to get it in Malakoff, and parts are here and there. And totally, the bike cost me less than $7.
Wow.
Yeah,
I won't tell you how mine cost.
right. So, and that was a challenge for me because I didn't have the money to buy one. And I knew because my father, there were 7 children in the family. My father couldn't buy one unless I could save my dimes and nickels that I get sometimes or other, and save that too. And that's what I did to buy the parts. At the time, a bike would cost $30-some, 28 to $30. So it was a lot of money.
Right.
It's like $3,000 now almost.
Yeah. And that's a great lesson for when you're younger to appreciate the value of something, right? When you have to earn it yourself,
Exactly, you got something there.
or at least partially earn it yourself. Yeah, I think it's something that is greatly unappreciated or not practiced these days with parents raising kids
right.
is teaching them lessons and not giving them everything
Exactly.
without them earning it.
Yeah. So, sorry to disturb.
That's all right. Go ahead.
I gotta take this because the throat
Throat is tickling.
irritates.
Okay, gotcha. So, can you tell me about a moment? So you've told me about one of your most memorable days in your life, but what about specifically one of the most memorable days, like emotionally, that you felt with your family, with your kids? Is there one day that stands out to you?
Probably there's more than one. Anytime we had a newborn, it was something else, And any event that our children had, graduation, stuff like that, it was always a great day. And the fact that we stayed together to to have meals together or always being together to do something special. Those were great days, and they were memorable days. Anytime we do that, or we did that with the rest of our family, the younger ones, or the grandchildren and all that, we remember those days like they were yesterday, all the time.
Mm.
And we're proud of that. We're really enjoyed that.
Mm.
Yep.
You've mentioned meals. That's like a big thing in my mind on this side of the family. It's kind of like an iconic thing for the Melanson family to
Right. Yeah.
host family meals, and it's one thing that's ingrained in my memory.
Yeah.
Like one fun thing, right? We'd get together over a meal, and
That's right.
that's what would bring the family together. And
When we were on Price Street in the house, the last bungalow we had before the miniature home, it was a pleasure starting early in the morning and make a meal for noon, or work the afternoon to make a meal for the evening for everybody. And to have everybody together, it was a memorable thing for us to do. And we enjoy doing it. That's why we did it, is to get us together and get you all together with us.
well, I can tell you from my end that your mission was accomplished, because it's ingrained in my head for my whole life.
Yeah.
So.
Do you remember we made poutine râpé and all that?
Oh yeah, poutine râpé and spaghetti sauce.
Spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, big spaghetti dinners
That's
are
right.
are in my mind forever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are simple things, but something that people probably tend to overlook a little bit. Like, life goes so fast if you don't stop it, and
Yeah.
you don't have to buy or do extravagant things.
No.
It's really just create an opportunity to gather with family or friends
Right.
over a meal or a coffee.
That's
or
right.
Doesn't
Yeah.
even need to be a meal, but just to not create an opportunity
Yep.
to get together with your community and your family.
And another thing that developed from that is the fact that our children have done or continued doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've been with them many a time for lunch and for a good meal with your children and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a continuation of whatever you call it, tradition maybe in the family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know if you got a chance to watch this documentary on Netflix. It's called The Blue Zone, and it's a study about essentially the oldest people on the planet,
Yeah.
the centurions, so the people that are 100 and over,
Yeah.
and they studied where there's the most of them and what is a common denominator between all of those people. And there was multiple things like food and sunlight and exercise and stuff like that. But the most common one was community.
Yeah.
So the people that were surrounded the most often by their family and their community,
Exactly.
often not like once a month or once every 3 months, often like once a week or more, right?
Right. Yeah.
So they would gather to eat or dance or go for a walk or whatever the case may be. That was the most common denominator between all of them.
It was a get together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the fact.
Mm-hmm.
That was important,
And
no matter what they were doing together.
mm-hmm. Humans crave human connection, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. We all need that. So another question for you. So what do you hope that your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren will remember about you or have learned from you?
Probably the fact that we have stayed together as a couple, Jermaine and I, my wife and I, and the tradition has continued. I believe that you people have stayed together as a family, and each one of us, each one of you that had children, seemed to have worked the same way that we did to stay together. So that's a real proud thing in our life.
And I can tell you that one thing that is that stands out for us is the importance that you put on family.
Yes.
And you've reminded us and instilled that in our memories that, you know, never to forget how important family is.
Right.
That's the first thing,
Yeah.
first thing that should be on our mind.
Yeah.
If you could give one piece of advice to all the dads out there, just one thing, what would be like the first thing that kind of pops in your mind?
Probably the fact that it's so easy to start something that goes negatively in your family, that it's important to attack the negative immediately and turn that into something positive together with your partner. Whatever happens between the two of you or two of us can be worked out positively. And that's the way to keep the family together. So
Communication.
communication, very good communication. Never stop and say, I'm going to bed, and don't talk about it, because it has to be worked out.
I think that's great advice.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Pipil, thank you very much for being on the Driven Dad podcast.
I'm very, very proud to have you all. And I'm glad to have done this with you.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you, and you've been a great role model in our life. And once again, thanks for being on the show with me.
Fine, thank you.
All right.